to the Fort Brock's Crypto Podcast. We have an exciting episode for you today. It's the best episode. It's the best, don't you think, Brandon?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, can't you hear his incitement? It's amazing. Anyways, we have Tyler Huntington. He's a mortgage loan originator who works for one of the big banks. He's a federal mortgage loan originator, and we're looking forward to seeing what Tyler has to say because he comes from the banking world. And it's going to be an interesting one. We're really looking forward to it. In full disclosure, Fort Brock's, we are not wealth managers, financial advisors, CPAs, or lawyers. It's important for you to know that because, well, this is cryptocurrency and we don't want to get in the crosshairs of the SEC. So please know that going into it. We do not give investment advice. We are merely sharing our experiences to, hopefully help you along your crypto journey. So Tyler Huntington, welcome to the podcast. We're excited to have you, man.
Happy to be here, man. Good to see you guys.
Yeah? You like us?
Kind of.
Okay.
I like Brandon more than you do.
It's only been a short relationship and you already like him more.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it's natural.
we have the same
haircut.
style.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. I didn't even notice that.
I'm a little jealous his beard's more red than mine, but
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you both are gingers.
Yeah,
I didn't
well,
even notice that until you just said that.
Just in the beard.
just them.
Just in the beard?
Yeah, my back hair is black as fuck.
Oh, yeah, mine too. Yeah.
Well, we told our listeners a little bit about you, but please, what do you do, Tyler? Like, what is your job? What do you do?
I'm a 9 to 5. I am a mortgage loan originator. I do mortgages for the people.
For the people. So you're a community servant? You're doing low-income mortgages?
No, I mean, I was going to say that I do loans for rich people, but let's be real here. With the average purchase price in Orange County, $1 million, you got to be, upper 20% echelon in order to buy a mortgage these days, for the most part.
And you work at a big bank?
I work at a big bank, yeah.
Okay. So 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, just traditional?
That's pretty much it. Yeah, I mean, if I need to, depending on the client, if I have to work a little bit outside of those hours, sure, but I like to, some people say I am a full-time family man with a part-time mortgage loan job. That's my gig. I don't have a side family. I have a side job. So,
well, I'm sure your wife will be pumped to hear that.
Yeah, she's like, you're full of shit. You work a lot. So I just like to say that to sound good.
So it's fair to assume, what they say about assume, that you have a pretty good financial literacy.
I mean, comparatively speaking, I couldn't tell you. I'd say I enjoy the financial stuff. I read about it all the time. I probably spend way too much time looking at stupid stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, one could say that. Yeah.
Okay.
Where do you get your info from? Usually?
Whatever Google feeds me for the most part. Whatever the algorithm says that Tyler's going to enjoy. Whatever. Just like a good robot, just reads whatever they put in front of my eyes.
Are you on Reddit, Twitter?
I've recently gotten into Twitter, and I see a lot of comments on there, or I follow a lot of stuff on there. But
so do you do investing outside of your bank work?
Absolutely.
What do you invest in?
I'll do the indexing stuff for the most part, and then the majority of my stuff will go towards indexing, and then I'll put I've got a certain amount allotted towards risk on type stuff such as crypto,
and then real
estate.
How many properties do you own?
I own 12 doors.
You own 12 doors? Are they all cash flow properties where you rent them for like short term, long term?
I have 3 long-term rentals and I have 3 short-term rentals and 9 long-term rentals.
Oh, okay. So you do work with Airbnbs.
I do have a few Airbnbs, yes.
So
I don't like calling them Airbnbs.
Because you use, VRBO and other sites
100%
too.
use Airbnb, but just, it's just one of those things like, Xerox, like, it's like, I need to go Xerox. And they're like, I just hate Airbnb being the poster child of short-term rentals. But let's face the fact, they are, so.
There's a sidebar to that very topic that we should put a pin in.
Yeah.
We'll get to later. Just remind me. And all you have to do is say meta.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also dislike them.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, look, they
Kleenex or tissue paper? Rollerblades?
Yeah.
Right.
Jacuzzi.
Jacuzzi? I mean, the companies.
Yeah.
So what type of returns do you get with your real estate?
I mean, honestly, I don't even punch the numbers. I've got a property that doesn't even make $1, but I get $900 a month in principal. So it's a forced savings account. That's all I look at it like. I probably lose money on the deal after, not lose money, but in terms of cash flow, if something goes wrong with the house, I'm paying out of pocket, toilet, whatever it is, roof, I'm paying out of pocket, but I'm getting $10,000 a year in principal, and I'm getting appreciation. The home has doubled in value almost in the 5 years since I bought it. Granted, that's probably all fake money, and values will at some point, if it does revert back to the mean, I'm okay with that. It's a long-term play. I own a few units in Cleveland. They make money some months. They don't make money other months. It's really just parking cash. I'm not the type of person to put my earnings and just let it sit in a checking account so I can look at my bank account like, oh, I've got a bunch of money. Look at me. Like, I feel comfortable. I feel safe. It's like I'm.
Same.
Yeah, I'd rather just deploy.
Yeah.
Cushion, emergency fund, everything else deployed. Like, I don't care where it goes. If I lose it, I don't care. Like, I'm not tied, okay, risk. I don't like losing. Who likes to lose money? I can say that I don't, but I don't, if I lose, I'm down on my crypto portfolio. It's down like 45% right now. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to sell it. I'm holding on to it. So back to the rentals. Sometimes I make money. Sometimes I don't. I got really lucky and bought 2 properties in Yucca Valley for X amount of dollars. They make a great, in my eyes, they make a great deal of money.
Yeah.
And I got extremely lucky. The value is tripled in the 4 years that I've owned it. And I'm actually trying to re-leverage that now to, deploy some more capital, because that equity is just sitting in there doing nothing.
Yeah.
And, basically I look at it like a depreciation or, inflation is eating at the equity of my house, because whenever I sell the property in X amount of years, those dollars are going to be worth less than what they are now. And I'll still, even if the home appreciates in value, I could still suck out the equity while I can. And even if I just sit on that cash, if shit goes to hell in a handbasket, then I've got cash. I'm flush with, I've got cash.
And
so
the reason why I'm asking this is basically you have all these other investments, obviously assets as far as real estate. So you understand how that works. And being a banker, it didn't just naturally translate that way for you to where you got into investing because you were in banking.
No, not at all.
Mm.
I ran into a mutual friend.
Yeah.
I ran into a mutual friend.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even a friend at the time. A guy called me, said he needed a mortgage, didn't make very much money, and he was buying in real estate. And then I, look at his tax returns, I see what he's making, cash flow.
Yeah.
A couple $100 a door here and there, but that stuff started to add up. And at the time, I thought that was a good idea. I'm like, oh, if I can make $300 a door, I can get 10 doors, and I can do this and that and the other. And then, basically I saw this guy making money. I'm like, if he can do it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And then, I stayed in contact with him, developed a, relationship, and, threw some cash. I had some cash, and just throw it at it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. For those who are listening, this is a mutual friend of ours. His name's DeVille Nunes.
Yeah.
He was
Is it Nunes?
It's Nunes.
Is that Nunez?
It might be Nunez.
I've
I've heard the judge call him Nunez.
Yeah.
But,
The judge.
well, he's a skateboard team manager.
Yeah.
And, skateboard team manager skateboarders. You sometimes
Yeah.
have to go see a judge because you're trespassing, but you're just
Yeah.
skateboarding. But yeah, so skateboard team managers don't make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And he's going to see Tyler to get loans on these houses. He's like, how the hell are you doing this, man?
Yeah.
But all this is in set up to the fact of, okay, so you understand how investing works. You work at a bank, a big bank.
Yep.
You're a mortgage loan originator. What the hell got you into crypto? Like, where did it start for you?
What gave you the bug?
Oh, man. When did I take that orange pill?
The orange one? There's blue, orange, and red now?
I'm saying the Bitcoin pill.
Oh,
No,
look at you. Oh, that's right.
I got sold on the orange pill.
For those you don't know, you'll see in some postings, but he's got some Bitcoin stocks.
Yeah, I just got them yesterday. I'm pretty stoked on them. Gosh, they get you. They could ask for whatever price they want, and I probably would have paid it. And I feel like an idiot for doing it, but I fucking did it. So,
But you look sharp.
so
You
thanks,
look
man.
sharp,
Appreciate
so.
it. Going to work after this, so
Yeah, he looks sharp.
thanks, brothers. Appreciate that. I couldn't really tell you the moment I got into crypto. I feel like I missed the boat. It's been around. The white paper came out 2013 or 11 or
08.
something like that, or 08. Yeah, 15
08.
years. Yeah, so it's
No, it wasn't.
Fact
it's
check
close. Yeah, I
All
think
right,
you're right.
Fact check.
I think he's right.
Brandon's fact checking. And while he's fact checking, Tyler's going to tell us.
It's become more prevalent in the market, and you're seeing it. You're seeing people, get good gains off it or whatever. I don't even understand it. There's so many terms that I don't understand. I just wanted to get a little bit of exposure to it, and it's not my life savings that's going into it. It's not my entire nest egg. Although some people have done great.
What do we got here, Brandon? 09?
Oh, no. Okay.
Oh, 2009. So as a correction, mid-podcast, yes, 2009 is when the white paper came out for Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I saw people getting into it. I'm like, huh, let's look into it. I started just researching. Not, I wouldn't even call it researching, just looking at stuff, just reading, just trying to stay busy, because everybody in the market seems to be wanting to sell you something.
Yeah.
Whether it's a course or it's look at these miners or whatever it is. Like it's all for money, or follow, smash that subscribe button, and I'm sorry, because we're on a podcast right now. You're probably
no, but we don't do the cheesy
at
call
the end
to
of this,
action.
you're gonna say,
we'll have another one. I'm sure.
All right, fair enough. So just looking into it, and I wanted to get some exposure into it. So,
But if you happen to have a second, I'm just kidding.
well,
He's doing a shameless plug.
I was just going to shameless plug right in the middle of your speech.
Before we dive into what you're doing in crypto, I'm curious, what made you go from hearing about it, talking with others, to trusting it enough to consider it as part of your investment portfolio? Like, where was that tipping point?
I mean, in my head, I don't think crypto's going anywhere. I think, personally, I think we're at the beginning of the internet. We are at AOL.com right now. So, and just to see where the internet, obviously, okay, maybe not AOL.com, but Netscape or NetZero or all those
I
companies
don't
that are
think
no longer here.
Netscape's here yet.
Well, that's what I'm saying. AOL's gone. Like, but we're at the beginning of what I think could be a very big opportunity for us.
Yeah.
And there's, the masses will say, oh, that's too new. You don't know anything about it, and it's risky, and you should probably just do your index funds, get your 7%, and then retire when you're 65, and then, like. There's that, and then there's the contrarian, where it's like, and the contrarians are the ones that seem to make money, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Short term, okay? Again, I'm an index investor for the most part, and I have a small share of my portfolio that goes into crypto. So it was really, just a mindset. It wasn't, there was a split decision where it was like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. There was that initial excitement where it's like, oh, I need to do this now. Let's go full bore. Everything, leverage, deploy. It was like, there was some of that feelings. And, after a couple of weeks, it's like, all right, chill out. Like, you're not the CEO of Coinbase here. So just relax.
Yeah.
So how did you get started? What was your first investment?
Robinhood. Done.
Okay.
Bitcoin.
Robinhood.
Yep. Robinhood. Started trading. Not even trading. I'm not a trader. I'm not looking for the ups and downs. I had a good run at Doge when it first popped. I rode it from like 3 cents to, I rode that initial wave up to like 71 cents or whatever it was.
Wow.
And then
you were able to sell.
Yeah, I was able. Yeah, I was not at the height, but I was able to make a pretty
great.
A pretty good chunk on that.
You at least made your capital back.
Oh, tenfold easily.
Yeah.
So granted, I wish I would have put 100 grand in that damn thing at the time. But it's a typical investor. It's like, oh, if I should have done this.
Yeah.
But do you like trading, or do you like to hold?
I don't have the time to trade.
Okay.
And I don't want crypto to dominate my life. I hate to say it, I do look at it pretty much first thing every morning.
Yeah.
But then I'm a little manic. I'm a little obsessive compulsive. Then you're taking the 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm like, dude, God, this is ridiculous. Like this is not healthy. So I'll look at it once in the morning, and then that's done for the rest of the day.
Oh, so you're that good about it.
I mean, for the most part, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I'll look at it at night, or if I see an article that says Bitcoin, I saw something yesterday. Oh, we're at the beginning of a new
bear market.
No, because it
Bull
popped up.
market?
It popped up 5% the other day,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, look at these gains. I'm like, it's 5%. Like it's not. Okay, it's not a new trend. So where were we going with that?
Oh, initially it was just asking you, are you a trader? But it all
Not a
started
trader.
from what was the tipping point that made you trust it enough to try it?
Again, I don't have a ton of exposure to where it's going to break me.
Yeah.
So it was just park some cash. If it goes down, I don't need the money. I'm not going to sell it. It's not going to hurt me. Just let it ride. And even if I bought some. Even at 69K or whatever Bitcoin, I bought some.
Yeah.
I haven't sold them. I bought some more at 41. I bought some more at 39. Like I'm just every paycheck, I'm just dollar cost averaging into it.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for saying those words.
Yeah.
Well, because like one thing that we're trying
What
to
words?
do, dollar cost average.
So explain that.
So dollar cost averaging is a type of, I guess, investing where even if you get in at a high price, if the price goes down, you put in more money and then you dollar cost average the price down to, I guess, a median, like a base.
Yeah, an average base of cost, right? And
Yeah.
Look, this is not a
Average
plug for
basic cost.
Robinhood, but like Robinhood is
No.
cool in the sense that, if you open up the app, it tells you what your average cost per Bitcoin was. So it shows you what your DC or dollar cost average is, which is cool. But
Yeah.
again, I guess in Robinhood, I shortly found out afterwards that you don't hold keys and it's really not your Bitcoin. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
oh shit, what do I do here?
Yeah.
It's a derivative,
Yeah,
right?
correct. Well, Robinhood for some reason says you actually own the coin, but I'm like, well, they don't have a wallet now, so you can't do anything with it. Like,
yeah, but they are, because of that criticism coming out
Correct.
with one, which is
and then it's like,
cool.
oh, invite your friends and move up in the queue for the wallet. I'm like, why do you? Gosh, just give me the damn wallet. Everything is gamified. Anyway.
Yeah.
So you went with Robinhood first. You bought some Bitcoin, and then what? That didn't satisfy you. How did you evolve? Like what's happened since then, and what time frame was that?
Gosh, whenever that first Doge pop was, you
Okay.
know, up to 70 cents, I'd just gotten in and I threw some coin at it and, you know, rode the wave, and that kind of got me more excited about it. And that was kind of the onset of my crypto journey. So whenever that was, probably late 20, maybe early 21 when it popped.
It was, early 21. It was after all the really fun Wall Street bets.
Yeah.
GameStop.
and all that.
GameStop,
Yeah. It was
yeah.
in the middle of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
And then the tweets with Elon and
Yeah, it was
everybody else
actually
coming
right
out.
after that the day after all that stuff is the day that Doge went from 0.001 up to 3 cents.
Right.
And I was just like, what is going on right
So
now?
one thing I'm fascinated by is the fact that you're a banker.
Yep.
And you didn't naturally gravitate towards investing anyway. Real estate investing is obviously, I mean, it's an asset. It's old world way of making money,
Yep.
so to speak.
Legacy.
One of our favorite podcasts is Bigger Pockets,
Yep.
that you can learn a lot from. But the fact that there was this transition for you with crypto, how many other bankers do you work with? And I don't know, should I even call them bankers?
I mean, sure, whatever. Loan officers, bankers.
People who work within the banking industry, how many of them that you know, just your colleagues and whatnot, do crypto right now?
I mean, I would say a lot of them are in the old paradigm still. You know, I was talking with one yesterday. He's saying, you know, just index, you know, just do 7%, buy, hold, you know, do your Apple, do your Tesla, you know, just hold for, get value stocks. I'm like, all right, that's, you know, I've got that. I just want a little bit of active stuff on the side.
Yeah. So it's still not even widely adopted amongst your colleagues.
Not necessarily. I'd say on the younger people, you know, the younger crew, the younger millennials are probably more active in the space than any other generation, I'd say.
Yeah.
So,
because just to share a little story, Brandon, as you know, we're a mining company as well, and we went to go get a bank account for the business, and the big banks aren't letting us in.
Yeah.
Even some of the credit unions, or all the ones that we've talked to so far, have a few more I'm following up with right now. They're not allowing us to bank there. They're lumping us into CBD and marijuana.
Yeah.
And I understand why marijuana can't be banked, because it's still federally but
illegal.
there's nothing illegal about crypto mining, and we're not.
No.
You know. So, I mean, what are your thoughts about banks banking
I just
crypto
don't think
companies?
I don't think they understand it.
It's just
I
that
think
simple.
They think, oh, crypto, they're laundering money, they're in business with El Chapo, or, you know, they're transferring money from overseas, and we can't. And I think the biggest piece of it, you know, if you talk to a bank rep, they'll say, we can't source where this stuff's coming from. So it's against against KYC, or know your customer.
They bank art dealers?
So
Yeah.
true. You know, Hunter Biden's got a bank account, right? You know, he's selling art.
You know, it's like there's so many people who sell art. That's wonderful for money laundering.
Yeah.
So it's still too new, and nobody can be the first one in the door. You know, no one
nobody
to set
wants
that
the
precedent.
accountability and the liability of it
Yeah.
all. But getting back to all things crypto with you, it's interesting because would you think that somebody with a financial literacy would, you know, gravitate towards crypto, or wouldn't? Or what would be the sticking points with that? Like, what were your hurdles to come over mentally when it came to investing in crypto? What made it real to you?
I mean, I just see the presence of it. I mean, I see people talking about it. And these guys are way smarter than I am. And it's like, you know, all right, we'll jump on their coattails. Like, it's not a bunch of idiots, you know, it's not Wall Street's bets going, let's pump up AMC, or, you know, there are those pump schemes and that type of stuff, but I'm not involved in that. You know, I believe in, you know, solid coins, or I'd like to think, you know, not to go too far down without your question, but I've got a couple of moonshots. You know, I'll put some cash here on certain coins. And if
what's the moonshot that you have right now?
Gosh, you know, I've rode AMP,
Okay.
COTI,
Okay.
you know, buy these dirt cheap coins, and if they pop 1000x, like I can exit, you know,
Yeah.
$1,000, and this thing 1000x's, I'm out. Now, granted, can I sell the coin when it 1000x's? I couldn't tell you. You know, is it a rug pull? I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
But it's not going to break me. You know, it's not a lot of, you know, it's not a substantial sum of money, or not. I shouldn't say substantial. It's not a substantial proportion of my nest egg or my asset.
Gotcha. So when you bought Doge, it's not like you looked into the tokenomics of it all.
Absolutely not. It was like, all right, cool. There's this mania going on about it right now. Every time Elon seems to tweet about it, it goes up to 20%, which it did yesterday. I bought some more at 14%, or I bought some at 14 cents. Elon Musk tweets about it, and it goes up 20%. Boom! I cashed out. You know, I didn't cash out, but I sold some. You know, it was an easy 20%. So,
at what time do you think his influence wanes a little bit, or is it starting to?
Well, they say he's a substantial holder of Doge, and it's Tesla's now accepting Doge for certain goods. You can go to the Tesla store.
Are
and
they
buy
still doing that?
That's what the tweet was about.
Yeah, I'm sure. I didn't even look at the tweet. I just saw it pumped. And
it just said you can now use Doge to buy Tesla merch. And I was like,
and it was like it was a paperweight on the Tesla website. It wasn't even a lot of stuff. It was just
but it was just enough.
Yeah, it was just
for people to just be
in the markets. There's so much liquidity in the market right now. The federal government has printed X trillions of dollars. 40% of the U.S. dollars have come into circulation in the last 2 years. There is money looking for a place to be parked right now. So it's like there's just so much money to go around. You know, at least the haves, I should say, and even the have-nots. You know, personal savings rates gone up. What was that? 40% last year.
Yeah. What do you think about inflation as it relates to crypto? Do you think it even plays a factor?
Well, I think there's going to be this natural progression of a digital currency. I think the dollar is going to devalue, and then, you know, they're only inflating the dollar so they can pay back this debt with devalued currency. Let's be real. Like, we're not going to pay back all this money that we printed, but if we can pay some of this back with a cheaper dollar, you know, with an inflated dollar, then, you know, there was no loss there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a wash.
You talked about it once.
That's an interesting take.
Within some of the real estate stuff we were talking about, we were asking about, you know, the loans he gives out to people. And you mentioned this phrase that I really liked. It was the debt treadmill.
Yep.
Can you explain what that is?
Well, the hedonic treadmill, right? It's like, and I fall prey to this too as well. Like, you know, I refinance. I mean, not everybody. Let's just say this. When you're a mortgage loan officer, you talk to people that are in debt. I don't talk to people that have a bunch of properties free and clear, or that are managing debt, or that are accelerating their debt payouts. I talk to people that believe in debt, that don't know how to manage finances, and that live beyond their means. Those are the main three people I talk to. So, you know, I have a handful of clients. I'd probably say 10 to 20% of them. And every few years, like, oh, my value's gone up. I can pay off my credit cards. I can borrow at 3%. My payment's still going to go down. I get to wipe out and then 3 years later, hey, Tyler, you know, something came up and some circumstances out of my control, and we need to do a cash out. No, I'm not saying not all of them, you know, but there's a fair proportion of them. I was like, all right, so there's just this treadmill of like, all right, I can borrow. Rates have gone down. I'm not impacted. My values have gone up. I can pull out more equity, and I can, you know, I can get another gadget or a Tesla, or I can do, you know, I go and buy something fun.
Yeah, no. What do you think about
like
products?
A ski-doo?
Ski-doo?
Yeah.
Sure, hell, why not?
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
Load it up.
Yeah.
What do you think about products that are starting to come out, where people can leverage their cryptocurrency holdings to borrow against it?
I'm waiting for it. I mean,
have you explored any?
No, but I've seen the rates don't seem too attractive to me. Now, maybe if you're a Bitcoin investor and you don't want to liquidate, I get it. You know, the rates are like 7 to 9%.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that's, you know, I can leverage, and this may come back and bite me in the ass at some point, but I can leverage my house for 3%, you know. Some people don't believe in that. You know, I didn't really go through 2008 or the downturn. So my home value didn't go down 50%. I haven't seen that. If it does, you know, I'd like to think at my current stage, I'm not going to be screwed. But so anyway, yeah, back to your question, you know, I think it'd be really cool. Leverage your portfolio, leave your Bitcoin working. I can use that for a down payment on the house. And then you use that same brokerage firm to get your mortgage. So it's all an in-house deal.
Yeah, we've had a few different companies contact us, just talking about, you know, sharing with some of our card partners some of their products. But the biggest problem that we've seen so far is none of them have a really solid way of the loan to value ratio. So let's say you have $100,000 in Bitcoin, and you want to borrow $50,000 from it, but then the value of Bitcoin tanks to, you know, 80% less than what it was worth when you took out the loan. Yeah, it's going to call that note due.
Yeah.
Can you knock on wood for me, please?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
There you go.
And then not to mention, like from the loans that I've looked into on the Bitcoin, it's like it's a 2 or 3 year term, so you don't know what you're going to end up with in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
Like,
you really don't.
Are they going to redo the loan? Like But it's still, we're in the infancy of it.
Yeah.
We're at the beginning. Like, we just don't know. So it's like, take your bets. Take your bets.
Yeah.
But it's going to be awesome when you can leverage your portfolio.
It'll happen. You know, if this spot ETF ever comes through, and I hear the window on that is closing, but if they can ever get this spot ETF passed, I hear, and I don't know much about it. I can't speak to it that much, but I hear that should open things up because it's just going to make, you know, you're going to be able to buy any ETF related Bitcoin or Bitcoin on tied to an ETF.
Well,
What were you gonna
isn't that why it went up to 69,000 in November? Because that one ETF did actually get approved and came out.
I think that was a Canadian one, but
Was
nothing
it?
in the U.S. has
Oh.
passed,
Okay.
from what I'm aware of.
For our listeners, explain an ETF, please.
I could tell you it's an electronically traded fund.
Okay.
It's not really, you don't own the asset. You own, I couldn't even tell you, like, would they call that a derivative? I don't even know how the hell to explain it, really.
I think so.
You don't really own it. You own something that's tied to it. Maybe that's not even a proper, may even want to look that up. That may not be a proper definition. Actually,
For some reason, when you're talking about it, it makes me think of The Big Short. Remember they're talking about CDOs?
Yes.
yeah.
That's what you're telling me this, and it's derivative or it's
that
related
may be
to something
that may be
else?
the wrong word.
Okay.
That may be the wrong word. But, you know, if you own an ETF, you don't actually own anything underlying. You just own the idea of it, or do you have a share in the idea of it?
ETF is basically just a mutual fund, but all online. So one company buys up a lot of, you know, different types of stocks, and then they consider that a fund, and then they call it an ETF, electronically traded fund, and so you buy a piece of that fund, and you get that whole pie.
That makes sense.
A piece of that whole pie.
yeah.
From the way that I understand
It
it.
could be wrong. It could be right, but I'll buy it. That's better than
All
my,
right,
it's better than my
cool.
explanation.
For listeners, we will put some links in our show notes of, you know, some
We will?
great. Yes, we're going to
Okay.
put some
Yeah, so-
in there for them. You know, it's a nice follow up.
We're going to have a, yeah.
Yeah. But getting back to it, it fascinates me because we haven't met many people in the banking industry or even the financial industry that have grasped or even want to grasp crypto. So that's why I'm fascinated by the fact that you are into it. You love it. It's fair to say you love it, right?
Yeah, it's fun.
You're wearing Bitcoin
exciting.
socks.
Yeah, I'm wearing Bitcoin socks.
I mean, that's got to mean you love it.
Yeah.
So in that way, where do you see crypto going from your perspective?
Dude, there's so much going on out there, and I don't think half of it's going to make it. You know, NFTs, I don't think I don't see the value. Maybe I just don't understand it, but I don't. It's a little crazy.
Well, we talked a little bit about it, like an NFT. If you were to do an ADU, right, an accessory dwelling unit, create an NFT out of it because you and a couple of your friends all wanted to chip in a certain percentage, you can create an NFT out of that ADU.
Right, tokenizer, right? Correct?
Yeah,
yeah.
it's basically
That I
smart
understand,
contract.
but this art or selling JPEGs for $3 million, like that stuff, I just don't get. You know, that's a little beyond me. So, in terms of that, I'm not a believer in that. Maybe I've just ran into the right person to explain it to me properly. But
I mean, art's kind of hype anyway.
yeah, sure. I mean, like you said earlier, it's right for laundry. So,
Have you bought an NFT at all?
no. But I have seen some, like, they do tokenized real estate where you can buy a share of a piece of real estate that goes into an LLC, and you can buy it for $50 a share, and you can get exposure to real estate. And I think that's damn cool. So I like that, just these projects. And I don't know much about these projects. All I know is there is an infinite supply of US dollar. There's a finite supply of Bitcoin and other coins.
Yeah.
And I'm a believer in, fixed supply stuff like we were
Sometimes,
talking about.
I was just going to say, sometimes there's a fixed supply.
So you can't, they'll continue to print dollars, which means inflation will go up. My dollars become worth less. Let me get some exposure to something else that can't be printed forever.
Yeah.
And let's see what it does.
Yeah.
Do you think because of inflation, that's what has also pushed up the price of some things like Bitcoin, whereas it's now considered a store of value where people put in their money because they are expecting XYZ returns. And also, because just even the thought of raising interest rates caused the overall price to come down. You know what I mean?
I think the price of all that, like if you look at what if the S&P is going down, Bitcoin's going down.
Yeah.
Like it's all seems to be related. They say it's a store of value. I've heard store of value, but if the NASDAQ goes down, S&P goes down, Bitcoin's right down there with it. Does the Bitcoin bounce back a little bit faster? Sure. But so I don't know if I necessarily buy all right, put your money in Bitcoin, it'll be protected in the event of a downturn. I don't believe that, but maybe, because if the masses say, oh shit, my dollars are going down, the stock market's going down, let's find something that can't, maybe there will be this awakening.
Yeah.
I think the problem, and I can't speak too much to this, but I think the problem with Bitcoin is that it's $1 trillion market cap. So it's tough for institutions to get into this space or into the Bitcoin space because they have so much freaking money.
Yeah.
And if they, if you look at Saylor, he's buying billions of dollars of, Bitcoin, but like, if you get this big money coming, like Warren Buffett can't buy Bitcoin because he'll own all of Bitcoin. Like he has so much damn money that he'll own a giant share of it. And everything he does, it's just going to move. It'll move the market too damn much. So I think once it gets a little more exposure, the price would have to go up, triple, quadruple. Then some players can start to get into it. And then that's when I see the tides turning and people start seeing the value. But then you've got to worry about, the Fed coming in and, that's just now going on the hill about, Bitcoin, and they're just now starting to talk about it and getting, what are we going to do with it?
What type of altcoins do you look at?
Dude, I don't even look at them. I don't look at tokenomics. I just say like, all right, if I see a Google article about it, I read it. I'm like, yeah, this guy's right. Do it. Let's put some money on it. Like, let's just.
You're a cowboy, man.
Again, it's not a ton of money. It's not going to hurt me if it goes to zero, but it's like, all right, it's just risk.
Yeah.
So,
what's the thing? Buy the news, sell the hype.
Yeah.
Or is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're buying the hype, selling the news.
I don't know if either one is appropriate.
Oh, okay.
If I just see something like, oh, this project has legs, then
then you're like, oh, hey, what's up?
Cool.
Okay,
it kind of makes sense. Like,
but if the due diligence he does seems valid,
yeah,
because
I'll pop in a couple bucks. Now, I will say I'm getting a little spread thin. Like, all right, I don't need 20 coins here and be watching 20 coins. Like, I should boil that down to maybe 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I started looking into Algo here recently, or Algorand, and that seems like a decent project to me.
Well, you started mining. I mean, full disclosure, Tyler is a card partner with us, but he just started. But you also mine.
I have some Bitcoin miners as well. Yes.
Okay. When did you get started with those?
October of last year, 2021.
How's it going
during
so
the hype
far?
of it?
Oh, okay.
So, which was great. Through the not to give these guys a plug or anything.
No.
I won't say their name.
Yeah, no, share it. It's fine.
Compass Mining.
Okay, perfect.
They sold me some rigs at a decent price, and that was even during the hype of it when Bitcoin was at 69K. If you look online right now at the open marketplace, like you can rigs even now with Bitcoin down 45%, rigs are still going for $12,000 to $18,000.
Yeah,
it just depends on when you want them working,
right,
or online.
Right.
The faster you want them online, if you want one online tomorrow, you're going to pay a premium for it, even though Bitcoin's down 45%. Bitcoin came down 45%, the cost of rigs came down 10.
Yeah.
So usually they're fairly correlated. I got, just to go into it, I bought a package, I bought 6 rigs for $8K a piece.
Okay.
And then, obviously I have to pay the service fee or whatever the electricity cost or the maintenance cost.
How long will those, and those are ASIC miners, correct?
ASIC miners, yeah.
And how long are those supposed to last?
There's a lot of back and forth on that. Because if you look at, if it's, some people say like, look, the terahash on these rigs is not going to continue to go up. These rigs right now are going like 110. They got a rig coming out at 140, meaning the computational power of these machines is probably going to peak out at some point, which means the duration of these rigs is going to last much longer than they have, say, the last 10 years of rigs. Like an S9, unless you've got dirt cheap electricity on one of the newest iterations or one of the earlier iterations of rigs, you're not making money on that rig anymore because it's it's outdated. But now the efficiency is so up that it's not going to grow. So, okay, in the past, if you look at the last few years, a rig would be good for 3 years, or an ASIC miner would be good for 3 years. But that may not be the case. They may go 3, 5, 10. These S9s are, I don't know when the S9s came out, but they're probably 10 years old and they're just now getting outphased. So.
Okay. So you're hoping that it lasts for a good amount of time past 3 years.
If I get my money back, I'm happy. If I get my initial investment back, that's all I really care about. Because anything on top of that's gravy.
So this will be very helpful for those listening and watching. Why does that make financial sense to you? Because the value of the coins can go up. It's not like you're just getting paid and you're liquidating it by selling it off. You're hanging on to those coins.
Correct.
For the long term.
So I am selling the coin to pay for the maintenance cost.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah, I am. But that's the only thing I'm selling. It's just to pay for the maintenance.
Okay.
So, you got two sides of the camp there. Some people say it's just cheaper to buy Bitcoin and to hold on to it.
Right.
Is it a monthly fee?
A monthly, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. About $145 a rig.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which, not terrible. it was great back in November.
Yeah, right.
Now it's a little different now, but that's fine. I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not doing this for cash flow. I'm not doing this to offset my living expenses or to go out and buy a Porsche or nothing like that. I just let me store some Bitcoin.
What do you? So just so anybody listening can understand, what are your financial goals with your investment?
Dude, I couldn't even tell you. It's something that actually eats at me is to say, all right, where am I headed? I don't know. I'm in this wealth accumulation phase. I'm in the phase of my career where it's like, all right, don't lose it. That's my main point. Don't be an idiot and lose a substantial portion. Charlie Munger says that, one of your best investments, don't lose your rule number 1, don't lose money. Rule number 2, see rule number 1. It's one of those things.
Yeah.
So I don't really have a point with it. I just know I'm in the middle of my career. My income probably is going to peak at some point, and then it'll taper. And then I think once it starts to taper, then I can go, okay, my best years are behind me. Now I can kind of figure something out. But the foundation is live below my means. Don't leverage too crazy, don't get too stupid, and pay down debt. I'm a big believer in debt and leverage, which we'll see if that comes back and bite me in the ass. We'll have to talk in a couple of years. I may be living at your house. We could talk at your house.
Oh, you're more than welcome, dude.
So back to the Bitcoin, back to the miner. You can either buy and hold it, or I can mine it. I don't really understand the buy and hold, because if I can mine it and I can at least break even on my machine, like that's a positive for me. And then if I go, then anything beyond that, it's money. Like it's house money.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
So
what are you hoping to see from crypto as a currency in the future?
I'd like to see it a little bit more widely adopted.
Uh-huh.
I'd like to be able to go to the store and just pay for something like Litecoin. I went to an event a couple weeks ago and they did not accept fiat. It was like, we don't take fiat. It was a Bitcoin event. Okay. But it was like, all right, you got to pay over the Lightning Network. Here's our QR code. You got to pay us over Lightning.
Oh, that's interesting. So now they're exiling fiat.
There are some companies that sell rigs that do not accept fiat.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's some parts that we get that are
they're
Ethereum-based tokens only.
Oh.
They're maxis, right? Like there's like, we're all in on Bitcoin. Like we're firm believers, so that's all we're going to do. Like, and that makes sense. It's like
that I understand.
It's the same thing with mining. I look at it from a financial perspective, but some people are like, I don't do it for the financial. I do it to secure the network and to support Bitcoin. I'm like, shut the hell up. You're making money on the damn thing. Don't give me that shit. So, but okay, maybe so. But I'm like, all right, whatever.
No, there's purists because it is tech, and tech has more passion for it.
Sure. I can believe that.
The community of tech definitely has more passionate people who just want to be part of the greater good.
Yeah.
But to your point, we got into it because we love the tech.
Yep.
But we're able to do this and, do it full time because it makes money.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Because if it didn't,
if you're
and
not
the
paying the
economics
bills.
didn't work, then it's just a really fun hobby.
Right.
If you're into tech that way.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah.
So crypto on the side of the tech, what would you like to see from it in the future?
Well, I mean, as a holder of it, I'd love to see it to get more exposure, which means the price is going to go up, which means my balance sheet's going to go up. Like that is kind of basic as it gets in terms of like the environment, or I'm indifferent on it. I don't care if Bitcoin, they don't take it at the 7-Eleven, or like whatever. Like, I don't really care. I just want to be along for the ride if it does. If it does get wider adoption, that's it.
You.
Just exposure to it. That's it.
Okay. So Tyler, we got questions that we're going to be asking all our guests, and so I'm going to take you through those questions right now.
Okay.
We'll come up with a clever name at some point in time. Do you have a clever name already in mind, Brandon?
I can see it.
He's just waiting.
Question time.
Oh shit!
That is original.
You're super original.
I like the excitement.
Quick
on his face.
question time.
Quick question time, man. You're a man of many colors.
On that.
We got to still work on it.
I
Okay. Well,
Okay.
we can.
So what wallets do you currently use, Tyler?
Gosh, too many. It's stupid. I need to consolidate.
Like how many?
Probably,
just name a few.
Coinbase wallet. You got me onto the Raven wallet. Gosh, I started looking at that Trust wallet. It's too many.
Raven needs to hurry up. That wallet takes forever
Raven
to sing.
was ridiculous. Well, the initial load up was ridiculous. Like, dude, what am I doing? And then it said, oh, we've tried out. It timed out 6 times. I'm like, that's not a good sign. Like, it's my first time loading this, and I'm already having issues. And I was going to send you the screenshot, and I was like, you're not tech support. Anyway, going too far down that.
No, that's all right. I'll be tech support.
Nah, it's all good. Just let it go.
So you got Coinbase, Raven Coin, or Raven, Raven.
And I don't know
wallet.
if you consider, I downloaded KuCoin. I've got.
Well, they're exchanges, but they also are
Wallets.
Yeah.
And then if Robinhood ever gets a wallet, then I'll have a wallet there. But it's just getting too much. Like I wish all these damn coins were accepted everywhere, and it would just be one depository or depository. Suppository.
That's what that's
no,
what
no, I like where
Coinbase
you're going
wants.
with it.
Yeah.
That's what Coinbase wants for sure.
Yeah.
They just need to start adopting more coins so that their wallet can actually hold everything.
Yeah.
Because Coinbase Pro,
in my opinion.
what's the differences in Coinbase Pro right now?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
Well, there's certain coins
I
that you
don't
can
work
buy. Oh, I know when Justin and I were trying to buy some Toco,
Oh yeah.
you can buy XLM through Coinbase Pro or Nano,
Oh
where
really?
you couldn't through. It was something like
Or
that.
if you can't buy it on Coinbase, you have to go to the wallet and then do an exchange for Ethereum to another coin. Like, God damn, why is this so difficult? I'd say that's a pretty big headwind because nobody wants to deal with that shit.
It's
Like,
a huge learning curve.
The
yeah.
techie guys given. I don't know a lot of it, but
Yeah.
that's in order to get mass adoption. That's going to have to streamline. But with so many damn coins, it's probably damn near impossible.
Yeah. And then you have staking, you've got different pools where you can join, where you put in your money and then you get interest rates based on how much
Right.
So do you have any Ethereum?
A very small portion.
Okay. Well, that actually leads to my question. What are you hyped on right now, coin-wise, outside of Bitcoin?
I look and see what's moving on a daily basis. I'm like, damn, I missed the boat. Damn, I missed the boat. Damn, I missed the boat.
Why do you keep thinking you missed the boat?
Well, just because I pulled up something. I forgot what the hell what coin it was. It was up 60% today. And I looked at it this week's 400%. And then you're like, all right, if I put $1,000 in that would be like, God damn,
You start doing that mental math.
Yeah, you start doing that. All right. So I'm not, I'll be honest, I'm not really hyped on many coins. The coins that I own, AMP, own a little bit of Flux, own a little bit of Cody, own a little Solana, own a little bit of Polygon or Matic or whatever. Just that basic stuff,
Yeah.
I don't stare at it enough to research a new coin that could moonshot,
Yeah.
I don't, I'm just not into it that much. I don't have the time.
I gotcha. So where do you find your crypto information?
A lot's on Twitter.
Just most of the time.
I've recently gotten into Twitter a lot, but it's a lot of Bitcoin stuff.
But do you click through to whatever they're talking about, or is it just the chatter that you're looking
No,
at?
I mean, I'll read the threads. Like
Uh-huh.
guys will drop threads or they'll drop info, and then I'll actually, this may be weird, but I'll go through and like read the comments, and then if you see a blue check mark, you're like, all right, that guy's opinion matters because he's got a blue check mark,
That becomes its own form of currency right there.
Yeah,
That's
actually,
a pretty cool validator.
if the guy's big, you're like, all right, I can take his word.
Speaking on that, yeah, I follow this guy who doesn't have a blue check mark, but he's got a huge following on YouTube.
Yeah.
He makes a lot of money off NFTs.
Yeah.
But there are so many people that pretend to be him in his
that
comments and in his retweets.
Who is this? If you don't mind sharing.
Well, I mean, I'd have to pull it up.
Boss Coin is one. He's just got so many imitators, and people come up and they,
Yeah.
everyone's like,
and
follow so and so, and they'll make you X amount of dollars. Like, oh man.
There's a lot of scams. The Square Cash one. I don't know if you guys heard about the Square Cash one.
Scam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Bitcoin.
Well, one of my friends got taken on Instagram, and now he's like, how do I get this person out and blocked and my old account shut down? Because they took over his account, changed his email address, and then do that scam to all his friends. And he had I think 3,000 followers or something. Nothing huge, but a lot of them close friends, and now they're
Because they convert,
hitting him up and like, hey, your account just hacked me. And he's like, what does it mean?
Yeah, I was getting DMs from a friend of mine whose account was hacked on Instagram.
Yeah.
And, because it was somebody I knew and trusted, it was the way that it was phrased was like, is this him? Really him? And he's like asking me for my Square Cash, tag, my cash handle, and he'll send me X amount of Bitcoin if I send them X amount of money because they're mining Bitcoin. And I'm like, well, we're in the mining business, so where's the value proposition actually make sense?
Yeah.
So so I've heard a lot
They're just
about
getting people on hey, we have Bitcoin hype. So yeah, I not to piggyback off your thing,
No, you're good.
but yeah.
I'm good.
But it brings up an interesting point, and this kind of is a sidebar and what we usually wouldn't do in a quicker round of questions. But
Yeah.
being in the financial industry where you're looking and doing risk assessment with loans, how do you see the risk with cryptocurrency?
I'd say there's a shitload of risk.
Okay.
I'd say most of the coins are not going to make it.
Yeah.
And there will probably be a select few that will.
Uh-huh.
And I hope to have some exposure to that.
Do you believe that there's going to be one winner?
you know, they say the granddaddy's Bitcoin, right? You
Right.
know, it has, and I can't speak to this a lot. It's got layer 1, it's got layer 2. Like it can do everything that needs to be done. You know, it can facilitate everything. They say it's slow, but then you got Lightning Network, you know, layer 2, that type of stuff. So I'm a believer in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I couldn't speak to a lot of it. I'm not that educated on it, but you know, it's been around. You know,
What do you
obviously
think
it has
about
the largest market cap? So
the utility nature of coins having its own value simply because it's providing a function as opposed to just a currency?
well, I think that's kind of what, you know, kind of go hand in hand, don't you think? Like, you know, if there's some utility
Maybe.
to it, like
It'll
Right.
generate value. Yeah.
yeah, correct. So, that coin that popped that I was talking about earlier, like they trade commercial real estate, valuable. I forgot what it was. Commercial real estate overseas, and like anyway. So there's just, you know, if there's some utility to it, yeah, okay, there's probably some value there.
Yeah.
So, but how valuable, the market will determine. You know.
So what podcast? Do you listen to podcasts for crypto yet?
Yeah.
What are you looking at?
You know, the Bitcoin Standard's pretty good. You know, I enjoy that one. How to Make Billionaires or something. I really enjoy this podcast.
The one you're on right now?
Well, I haven't heard
I'm
it.
just
Well, of
kidding.
course, because it's great. The Investors Podcast Network. We study billionaires. It's probably my. It's just very well done. I really enjoy listening to that.
Cool.
And it's not all Bitcoin. It's not all crypto, but there's a lot of Bitcoin, crypto related stuff.
That's cool. What about books? Have you read any books on crypto?
Bitcoin Standard, Fiat
Okay.
Standard. The one that you put me onto, I didn't quite finish it.
In the age of cryptocurrency.
And I think that's mostly it.
Okay.
I think there tends to be a lot of info.
Yeah.
Like our minds are just so hooked up to all this dopamine, this constant dopamine hit, that we always need data, info, podcast, Twitter. You
Yeah.
know, just
No, I
like,
get it.
anyway, I don't mean to be knocking everybody.
No.
Like, and I'm going off on a sidebar here, but like, I'm trying to taper off on all this damn data. I don't need all this stuff. Like,
Well, you actually raise a good point or a good question. Most of when I talk to people about anything crypto related, they talk about how they don't think they can learn about it, or they don't have the time to learn about it. So having said that, what do you see as the merit to that? Do you think it's just people being lazy,
well, it's the
or
same.
is it just seems so daunting?
I wouldn't call it lazy.
Okay.
But I would say that's their cop out to say, I'm just not that interested. Because, you know, people say, oh, I don't have time to work out, or I don't have time to eat well. All right, well, then you just don't, you know, you don't, that's not a priority to you.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, that's like, you know, it's simple as that. It's not nothing against you.
What are you raising your hand on? Which part? The working out?
Oh,
The eating right and working out
that's
part.
just not a priority. It's like, all right, do you want to meal prep? You know, no. Do you want to go to the store and buy a bunch of meals? And like, you know, it's like, what do you want to do? You know, do you want to, if you want to spend 3 hours a night watching Netflix? Okay, cool, that's your deal. But you know,
In all fairness, Brandon, if you had a choice between pizza places, I know 7-Eleven would be on that list anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
that's sad.
He
Well-
loves his 7-Eleven pizza, man.
I'm, you know, because you said that, I'm gonna have to go try some now.
It's got to be fresh though.
Oh,
You have to make sure it's fresh.
Wait a
okay.
minute. Can it be fresh?
Yeah,
Yes.
like how for like within 12 hours or like
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
I'll-
if
I'll
it's
have to
sitting there,
ask.
yeah, you can tell if you look at it and it looks. If it doesn't look like it's plastic, then it's probably going to be pretty good.
back to your point, Neil. I didn't just cut you off.
No,
Yeah.
it's okay.
It's
Thank
just-
you.
If you want to learn about
Please.
it, there's plenty of info out there. It's not overwhelming. I really don't know that much about it. But I'd say just get started, listen to it, throw on a podcast and just listen to one. Just listen to one. I would suggest anything with Michael Saylor. Just listen to that guy. He's super smart. I don't understand 90% of the shit he says, but I'm like, damn, this guy knows what he's talking about. I would need to learn more about it. And then I you know, my mind is like, I need to catch up to this. Like I'm way behind the 8 ball. I need to learn up on this stuff.
So what is some of the information that he talks about that makes you, that piques your interest, that makes you feel like, okay, there's something to this?
Well, I mean, this guy holds his entire balance sheet of his publicly traded company, MicroStrategy, holds his entire balance sheet in Bitcoin. So every time the money, you know, company's flush with cash, this guy's just buying Bitcoin with it. Like, holy shit, this guy's got hundreds of billions of dollars of his company's money tied up in Bitcoin. Like,
So his actions are speaking for
that
him.
is ballsy. Like
Yeah.
that is just fantastic. So, I mean, maybe that wouldn't be the best for a starter because the guy starts talking and it just overwhelms me. And I'm like, holy shit, I have no idea what this guy's talking about. But just in terms of fundamental basics, economics, like, all right, this guy makes sense. Just back to the point, you know, there's 21 million Bitcoin. You know, there's infinite supply of US dollar. Like, just simply like, if that doesn't strike a nerve, then maybe crypto's not right for you. You know, if that doesn't just hit you, then, you know, maybe it's just not for you.
No, I get that. I mean, Patrick Byrne, CEO of Overstock, he spent what 500 million on Ravencoin.
Oh, did he really?
Or 100 million. Sorry,
I think 100
I
million.
think it was 100.
Regardless, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's a lot of money to put
Yeah.
behind something.
Yeah.
So it says a lot. To your point, yeah, because their actions are speaking quite loud.
Yeah.
Ravencoin is a Bitcoin fork.
Yep.
And they have 21 billion fixed supply instead of 21 million.
Got it.
And they
Okay.
just went through their first halving
First half.
I heard.
Tuesday.
I heard.
Last Monday.
Everybody's
That's
expecting it to drop, and it didn't. It popped up, right? Popped up to 10% or 10 cents.
Popped up a little bit,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it didn't drop. It didn't have the steep
It
drop.
didn't drop while Bitcoin was dropping.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out after Ethereum goes to 2.0 and there's can't
yeah.
mine that anymore. Like, well, what's going to happen to these other coins that don't?
Yeah,
they can move their mining power over to. I know people are trying to figure that out now. So
we're amongst that group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you, Tyler.
thanks, guys.
I
Yeah,
It's a blast.
thanks, Tyler.
Yeah, it's
I
a good time.
appreciate hearing the point of view that you have, especially coming from the banking industry and being an investor in other areas. It shows so much about what can be done, right? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And just you had to change your school of thought, it seems like.
Yeah, just different exposure, real estate, index, crypto. Okay, all right, cool.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
That was pretty cool. What'd you think of Tyler?
I loved his style.
His style?
Yeah.
What style was that?
Beard, bald head.
Oh,
look.
yeah.
I love that look.
It's- Yeah.
Weird.
For those of you who are just listening as opposed to watching this,
Yeah.
Brandon also has that same style.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks good. You guys look good.
Thanks.
Yeah. Looks like you guys could be almost brothers.
Yeah.
Actually, you kind of could.
Yeah, he's just way taller than I am.
Well, then he got more jeans than you got.
Are you saying his jeans are more expensive because he has to pay for more fabric?
Oh, I don't know. But he had a lot of cool information coming from the banking world. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. It was really interesting just to hear from him, his thoughts on crypto, how he came into it. It just reminds me a lot of other bankers that I know, mainly my mom who works in banking, and just her thoughts on crypto. Just basically changing your attitude from fiat money into there is actually an investment opportunity in that.
Yeah.
And then,
And Marsha's, that's right.
yeah,
Did you help her change her thoughts about crypto?
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah. In full disclosure, she is now a card partner.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a sweetheart
Signed her
deal.
up.
Thank you. Thanks, Brandon.
Like, hey, Mom, you should buy one of these. Actually, I didn't even push her into it. She was like, well, should I get one? I was like, if you want,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
So-
of course we know. We're a little biased. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
A bit biased.
A bit biased. But yeah, the information Tyler is providing, we're going to be providing in our show notes. There was a number of times where we referenced different items such as the ETFs. We're going to make sure that you have that information. So please look for those in our show notes if you want to dive into it. And all the fact points that we were talking about, like the Bitcoin white paper when it came out, that'll be in the show notes. So things of that nature, we're going to do our best with every episode to provide that information with each one of the episodes so it substantiates what we're looking into, because we're part of this journey too. We're learning as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know everything.
Not everything. No.
Not everything. I'm sorry. Yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't know I was in the presence of this greatness.
No,
I mean, I should
definitely
know.
not.
It's been 18
I mean,
years.
I also wanted to include in this one a couple errors that I had last episode.
Oh, please share. Was it your cussing?
No, I
No.
don't-
We're good with cussing, right?
I don't fucking think so. I don't know though.
All right.
Maybe.
Tell me more.
Well, first I said that I thought Bitcoin had a max supply of 168 million, but it's actually only 21 million.
That's pretty far off the mark.
I think Ethereum might be 168. One of them is 168 max supply.
Okay.
So I might have just got that wrong.
Okay.
And then also Shiba Inu, Shiba Inu, I think.
Doggy coin.
Yeah, one of the dog meme coins does not have a max total supply. So of coins, it can be infinite instead of finite number.
Yeah. Which makes you wonder.
Yeah, and to also piggyback off of Tyler's,
Mm-hmm.
I really like the way he looks at coins, or I guess him and I are aligned value wise in what we look for.
He's a cowboy.
Yeah, well, I mean, just in his like finite supply
Uh-huh.
versus infinite supply.
Oh, got you. So that is
Yeah.
a portion of tokenomics that he actually takes into account.
Correct. Yeah.
I-
Even though he said he doesn't take any into account.
But what
you
he-
could tell that he does.
His
and did.
barometer, though, it's pretty cool because it's almost like he's made peace with himself, which is hard as an investor
Yeah.
with your money, right?
Correct.
Because like we've talked about in our intro episode, people want to get Bitcoin rich. They want to get crypto rich tomorrow. Like, I want to get crypto rich. But Tyler, he wants to make money, yes, and he's very, cognizant of that, but he's already set aside the emotional baggage that usually goes with handing over your money
Correct.
in exchange to make more money,
Yeah.
right? And it's pretty cool. He's like, no, I already put that away. I'm good.
Yeah.
It's not going to kill me. Not everybody's in as awesome of a position that he's in financially.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not Warren Buffett, but he's definitely, he does well for himself.
Yeah.
But just the way he detaches himself after he makes that decision, I think leaves a lot of stress on the table. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
it's stressful investing, period. And crypto, I mean, he even talked about it. He acknowledged that, hey, I look at my app a little bit, but I mean, even Binance and Coinbase, they're always tweeting. Kraken tweeted about it the other day. Like, how many times are you going to open your app today to see crypto pricing? And it's like,
Oh, they did?
yeah, we replied to it as well.
Okay.
But I mean, how many times do you open your crypto apps a day?
Under the Fifth Amendment on the Constitution,
For those of you who are just listening and not watching this, it was pretty awesome, Brandon's face. So that's the point, though, right? It's like
just way too many times during the day.
because
for
it can
sure.
get stressful if you get too far in the weeds. I know you don't get
Yeah.
too bad on it.
No, I try not to trade emotionally.
Yeah. But it's
you know.
easier said than done, especially
Absolutely.
if you're new to it and you're
Yeah.
new to investing. Because I'm of the opinion that crypto is going to bring people into investing that never invested.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we were just talking about Dogecoin and how he caught that first wave from 3 cents to 71 cents.
Was it 71 cents that it went up
I
to?
think that was its final ATH all-time high.
That's going to go in the show notes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like I said, I think
It's final ETH.
ATH
ATH.
all-time high.
All-time high. Okay.
Yeah.
Just trying to clarify the acronyms for everyone.
For sure, yeah.
Cool. I mean,
Well,
again,
so to get to that, that's also why I invested, or I put some money into Shiba Inu, is because emotionally I took myself out of the Doge equation. Like he was saying the what ifs. Sometimes you get these what ifs. You're like, what if I would have put in $1,000? And you get a lot of those. You get a lot of those articles online too that say, if you would have invested $1,000 in Bitcoin back
some of them are jokes,
10
some of them
years
are
ago.
actually real, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and there's absolutely no way that I would have put all my money into Doge because of the infinite supply, because of these other things. Personally, full disclosure, I couldn't have done that. But I did look and say, hey, if I would have, coulda, woulda, shoulda, I'd be a millionaire
You'd
right
be
now.
balling.
And so,
You're going to be balling anyway.
yeah, it doesn't matter. But I just wanted to kind of talk it out, like emotional versus, I guess, learned investment, like
Logic
logical.
versus emotion.
Yeah.
Heart versus mind. I mean,
Yeah,
but
just-
even your
I
mind
looked
can
at
mess with it.
I mean, just looking at the tokenomics of it, like it should have never hit 71 cents.
Well, for instance, card partners hit us up all the time,
Yeah.
asking us what they think they should do. And because we're not brokers or investors, we don't tell them what to do. We just share, people ask, did you buy SHIB? Yes, we bought SHIB.
Yeah.
We tweet about it. We
I just-
tweeted when we sold it,
Yeah.
or when I sold it too.
Mhm.
Because at that point in time, I sold enough to get my initial capital back.
Yeah.
In my mind, that's all I wanted. If I could just get what I put in back,
Yeah.
and let it all ride after that, we're good.
Yeah.
But that's just my style way
Yeah.
of doing it. Tyler's a little bit different too, but most of our stuff is long-term holds.
Yeah.
Almost everything.
Absolutely.
But even when the market tanked, card partners were calling us up.
Yeah.
My phone was blowing up from card partners asking, all these questions about the market. And, obviously we're only able to mine proof of work and so many coins are only profitable to mine. So it's not like we deal in all of them. So it was more about us being almost in an emotional support.
Yeah.
I found when we were working with, our card partners as just good customer service, they just wanted to talk it out.
Yeah.
We weren't even offering any advice or anything. They just wanted to be like, well, is the market going to come back? And it's like, this is what you got to get used to. I mean, it even says on our website, super volatile, right?
Very volatile.
But again, that's one of the things that I really appreciated and admired about Tyler is he's able to detach the emotion once he puts his money down. And that's so hard to do.
Yeah.
But again, maybe he learned it from being a banker. I don't know. But just the fact, his insights about banking was really cool.
Yeah.
The fact that
I liked what he was talking about with like, do I want to just put this money into a checking account or do I want to make my money make money for me?
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. Because he has the assets. And as he was describing it, he has cash flow investments with his, short-term rentals, cash flow investments with his long-term rentals. But some of his long-term rentals or some of the places that he has as investment properties are just appreciation plays, so it's for the value to go up. So he already kind of has a mindset to understand that an asset can be invested in just to go up, but you're rolling the dice then because, if the market crashes, your home value goes down.
Yeah.
But some of the places, like his place in Big Bear, he mentioned, off the show, we were talking that he primarily got it so he had a place to go with his family.
Yeah.
He's able to rent it as a short-term rental, but he's able to take his family up there.
That's cool.
So he saw the investment as an experience. So that was his ROI factor.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It wasn't just cash. It was the ROI of the experience.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting. I'm curious to see how it evolves with other people in banking as we move forward with crypto, because what are their mindsets going to be like?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I thought it was cool that he was talking about younger people coming in, being the ones to do it. Obviously, a lot of the creative communities led NFT adoption more so.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of that information was just cool to hear somebody else from a side of the world that we don't get as much exposure to because we're not in banking.
Well, thank you for joining us for this.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to the Fort Brock's Crypto Podcast, episode number 1, our first episode. And we have a few thank yous we'd like to say. The recording podcast studio is provided by ADU West Coast in Seal Beach, California. They turn underutilized garage space and backyards into rental housing units. It's pretty cool. So you should definitely check them out at aduwestcoast.com. They've been really good to us providing the studio. The show is hosted by myself, Neil Alonzo, co-host Brandon Heath.
Fort Brock.
So thank you again to everyone.